when we're playing with other musicians, whether it's in a jam session or part of a band, it's good if everyone plays the same chords at the same time. And an easy way to make this happen is to give everyone charts, which are basically pieces of paper with the chords for any given tune written on it in the right order. So a very common way of writing chords is called the Nashville Number System. And I'm Ruth Rowland, and this video will teach you the Nashville Number System, how to read chords in the Nashville Number System. If this interests you, subscribe for more of the same. The Nashville Number System uses Arabic numerals, which are just regular numbers like these. And when you match them up with the notes of a scale, those numbers are called scale degrees. So for instance, in the key of A, scale degree 5 would be E. With me so far? And if you just see a number in the Nashville Number System, that means a major chord built on that scale degree. So if you see the number 5, that means an E major chord if you're working with the key of A major. Good? If we built major chords on every note, every scale degree of the A major scale, you can see that some of the notes aren't even in the scale. So it would sound kind of funny. In order to have a real harmonious sounding bunch of chords, we are going to have to use things other than the major chord. So to do that, we add suffixes, things after the chord number to show that it's a different kind of chord. For instance, the 2 chord in the key of A, we can have it be minor, and the way we would write it is a 2 with a dash after it. The dash means minor, and you could do other suffixes too, and those suffixes all mean the same thing as they do if you see letter name chords with suffixes after them. And if you're curious about those suffixes, what they are, and how to build those chords, drop me a note in the comments or email me, and I'll do a video on that. But that's a story for another time. So we can build any chord on any scale degree in the major scale. But sometimes we might want to build a chord on a note that isn't in the major scale. For instance, in the key of A, the 7th scale degree is G sharp. If we want a G chord, we would just put a flat sign in front of the 7, which lowers the 7th scale degree by a half step. So a flat things lie down, it lowers it. A sharp sign would raise it. So a flat 7 chord in the key of A would be a G natural, G major chord. And you see there isn't necessarily a flat in the name of the chord. It just says to lower it by a half step. Okay. Likewise, if you were building a chord on the sharp 4 of the key of A flat, right? That's the 4th scale degree is a D flat, and a sharp 4 would be D natural. So that would be a D major chord. It doesn't have a sharp in its name, but you got to it by raising the 4th scale degree a half step. Now it may have a sharp in its name, but it doesn't necessarily. Good. So sometimes in the Nashville Number System, you'll see one number on top of another with a line going across between them. And in that case, the top number is the chord that you want to play. The bottom number is the scale degree of the lowest note in the chord. So say, let's go back to that G major chord we built, that flat 7 chord in the key of A. If we didn't play the G on the bottom, this really is for chording instruments like piano and guitar, but this just to explain what this means, if we didn't play the G as the lowest note, but put the G somewhere else, and now the B is the lowest note. B is the second scale degree in the key of A. So we have a flat 7 chord with a 2 in the bass. Does that make sense? The 2 is the lowest note. And like I said, as fiddlers, you probably don't have to concern yourself with this. But if you play guitar or piano or another chording instrument, you might like to know that information. And anyway, it's fun when you get used to the Nashville Number System to kind of play the bass line, sometimes a couple octaves higher. But just to play around with that, sometimes those bass lines are pretty cool. So you have the numbers in the Nashville Number System are scale degrees. If it's just the number, you build a major scale on top of that scale degree. If it has the number has a dash after it, you build a minor chord. And if it has anything else, you build whatever it says to build. If the number has a flat or a sharp before it, you lower or raise it by a half step, depending on which it is. Sharp things stick up, flat things lie down. And if you see two numbers on top of each other with a line in between, the top number is the chord that you want to play. The bottom number is what's supposed to be the lowest note in the band, in the chord. Next time, we'll be talking about issues of timing in the Nashville Number System, like how to write it when you have more than one chord in a bar, or how to write it when the chord starts before the beat. It's all kinds of interesting stuff like that. So if you're new, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when it posts. See you then.